That moment when you walk into a room and everyone's eyes turn to you, not out of curiosity, but out of a genuine, magnetic respect hits a feeling that completely transforms your life. Respect isn't just given, it's earned, yes, but more importantly, it's cued. It's a psychological response, a deep-seated reaction to specific nonverbal and behavioral signals that you can intentionally master. This isn't about manipulation. It's about congruence, aligning your inner confidence with your outer presentation so that the world sees you as the high-value individual you genuinely are. For the next 7 minutes, we are going to unlock 5 potent psychological tricks tested in the crucible of social dynamics that will fundamentally change how people perceive you, ensuring that you command the respect you deserve not just instantly, but consistently. Pay close attention, because mastering these skills is the key to unlocking the doors of influence and success you've always wanted to walk through. The first and most powerful psychological trick is mastering the art of unhurried presence, a technique that leverages the psychological principle of scarcity and perceived value. Think about it. When someone is rushing, fidgeting, and talking too quickly, their subconscious signal is, "I have low value, and I'm trying to impress you before you realize it." A person who is truly high value and confident operates on a different clock. They move with deliberate, measured pace. When they enter a room, they don't rush to the nearest empty chair. They take a moment, scan the environment, and choose their spot as if they are the most important person in the building, which in their mind they are. In conversation, they don't interrupt or jump to finish your sentences. They embrace the silence after you speak, letting your words land before offering their response, often after a strategic, 1-second pause. This pause, that small delay, communicates an astonishing amount of respect, both for themselves and for you. It tells the other person, on a subliminal level, "My thoughts are valuable, and I am taking the time to formulate the best possible response, not just the quickest." The unhurried individual is not reactive. They are contemplative and selective with their energy and time. By adopting a slower, more deliberate cadence in your movements, your speech, and your reactions, you psychologically reposition yourself as someone whose time is precious, whose energy is conserved, and whose attention is a valuable resource, compelling others to lean in, slow down, and inherently grant you a higher degree of respect. It is the silent language of self-assured authority, and it works every time to make you the center of gravity in any social sphere. The second trick revolves around the psychological power of the signature boundary, a nuanced technique that taps into the human need for predictable structure and the admiration of self-regard. Respect is deeply tied to a person's willingness to define, communicate, and enforce their personal boundaries. Most people are afraid to say no or to stand up for their own preferences because they fear rejection or causing friction. This desire to please is, ironically, a major respect killer. The individual who commands instant respect is the one who has a clear, almost non-negotiable set of behavioral standards they hold for themselves and others. For instance, if someone habitually runs late for your meetings, a signature boundary is not screaming at them. It's calmly stating, "I value punctuality, and my schedule is tight. If you are more than 5 minutes late in the future, I will start without you." The key here is the delivery. It must be smooth, non-emotional, and delivered as a simple statement of fact, not an aggressive demand. It's the difference between saying, "I can't believe you asked me to work on Saturday, that's ridiculous," and saying, "I keep my weekends free for family commitments, so a Saturday request is something I can accommodate." The first sounds whiny and defensive. The second sounds like a confident, self-actualized individual who has a life and priorities. When you consistently demonstrate that you value your own time, your values, and your energy enough to protect them, you send a powerful nonverbal message that you are an entity to be reckoned with, someone who cannot be casually pushed around. People do not respect those they can easily manipulate or coerce. They respect those who have a firm, self-imposed line in the sand. By defining and elegantly maintaining your signature boundaries, you instantly elevate your social status and compel others to treat you with the same high regard you clearly have for yourself. Our third powerful technique is rooted in the cognitive principle of the spotlight reversal, which instantly shifts the power dynamic in any interaction away from you and onto the other person, paradoxically making you the one who is more respected. Most individuals, when meeting someone new or trying to impress, fall into the trap of self-promotion, talking too much about their own accomplishments, their car, their job, or their latest success story. This often signals a desperate need for external validation, which is the antithesis of genuine respect. The respected person doesn't need to audition for approval. Instead, they become the master curator of the other person's narrative. When you meet someone, do not launch into your personal history. Instead, use deeply insightful and curious questions that require more than a yes or no answer and focus entirely on their experiences, insights, and perspectives. This is where the magic happens. A truly respected individual is interested, not interesting. For example, instead of asking, "What do you do for work?" ask, "What is the most interesting psychological challenge you face in your line of work right now?" Or, "What decision are you proudest of in the last year, and what was the lesson you learned from it?" These questions require thought, vulnerability, and a moment of genuine self-reflection from the other person. By asking them, you are psychologically validating the other person's importance, confirming that you see them as an intellectual equal whose insights are worth exploring. They walk away from the conversation feeling intelligent, understood, and genuinely good about themselves, a feeling they will unconsciously attribute to you. This is the ultimate psychological move. You gain respect not by trying to impress, but by skillfully making the other person feel impressive. By performing the spotlight reversal, you transform yourself from a mere conversational participant into a high-status catalyst for positive self-regard, an invaluable role that garners deep and enduring respect. The fourth trick leverages the subtle yet profound power of non-reactive confidence, a method of emotional and behavioral control that targets the psychological need for stability and reliability in high-value individuals. Think about the people you respect the most. They are almost always the ones who remain calm, centered, and unchanged when faced with chaos, criticism, or provocation. They are the eye of the storm. Many people react emotionally to minor inconveniences, a slight delay, a critical comment, a misunderstanding, and these emotional outbursts, while natural, are perceived by the subconscious mind as weakness and volatility. The trick is to adopt a mindset where your internal state is entirely separate from external events. When someone tries to push your buttons, perhaps with a slight insult or a challenge, your immediate, non-reactive response is the greatest demonstration of power. This means no immediate defense, no flinching, and certainly no matching of their negative energy. Instead, you maintain eye contact, perhaps offer a faint, controlled smile, and address the comment or situation with a calm, even tone of voice. If someone is rude, a simple, "That's an interesting perspective," delivered without any sarcasm, instantly deflates their aggression and elevates your position. You signal that their attempt to throw you off balance has failed and that your emotional state is so robust it cannot be affected by petty drama. This is the essence of true strength, the power to withstand without having to hit back. This non-reactive confidence communicates a psychological truth. You are in control of your inner world, and you are therefore a stable and reliable force. People naturally gravitate toward, and profoundly respect, those whose confidence is an unshakable fortress, as it offers a sense of safety and predictability in an unpredictable world. Finally, the fifth psychological trick is the strategic deployment of the reciprocal validation loop, a powerful social tool that ensures respect not only for your skills but for your character. At its core, this trick is about being the first, and often the only, person to genuinely champion another individual's competence or character in front of others, especially when they are not in the room. When you compliment someone directly, it is appreciated, but when you speak highly of their abilities or their integrity to a third party, that praise eventually loops back to the original person with 10 times the force and sincerity. For example, if you are talking to your boss and you mention that your colleague, Sarah, single-handedly solved a complex problem you were all struggling with, that praise will undoubtedly find its way back to Sarah. More importantly, it psychologically solidifies your character to your boss. You are seen not as a competitor or a political player, but as a generous, secure, and high-integrity person who is willing to share the credit and promote others. This is incredibly rare in the social and professional world. By initiating this validation loop, you are demonstrating supreme confidence, the kind of confidence that doesn't feel threatened by the success of others. When people observe that you are an individual who not only excels, but also elevates others, they not only respect your abilities, but they respect your soul. They view you as a leader, a mentor, and a force for positive contribution. This act of being an unsolicited champion for others creates a powerful, positive reputation, and it is this reputation of fairness, security, and goodwill that becomes the bedrock of instant and lasting respect, making you the person everyone wants to have in their corner and, more importantly, the person everyone naturally looks up to. These 5 psychological tricks, the unhurried presence, the signature boundary, the spotlight reversal, non-reactive confidence, and the reciprocal validation loop are not fleeting techniques. They are fundamental shifts in your operating system. They are the keys to not just getting respect, but being a respected individual from the inside out. They transform your passive wish for recognition into an active, magnetic force of self-assured value. Start small today. Commit to the unhurried pause before you respond to the next text message, or define one signature boundary you will enforce in the next 24 hours. The transformation begins with a single, deliberate action. Now that you have these powerful psychological insights, the next step is implementation. If you found these tricks valuable and are serious about elevating your influence, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content on mastering your social dynamics, and drop a comment below letting me know which of the 5 tricks you plan to implement first. Your journey to commanding instant respect starts now.